I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Charlene. Welcome to Empowered, Life Lessons of Everyday Women.
Each episode, you're going to meet an amazing woman who has struggled through challenges both in her home life and work life and has become very successful. Meet Jordyn T. Don't be so hard on yourself. Jordyn has struggled with anxiety most of her life. She has given herself the grace to discover her strengths, learn from others, and took the leap to start her own business, PoshPops. So grab a cup of coffee, get in a comfy chair, and join us as we talk to Jordyn. Welcome, Jordyn. We're happy you could join us today.
Thank you for having me.
So if you were able to go back and talk to your 20-year-old self and give her a little piece of advice, what might that be?
Oh, probably, yes, you got it. You're doing the right thing. You got it. Don't quit, but chill out, like calm it down. I think that I just thought, it's all perspective. When you're 20 years old, your frame of mind is so small. And so everything seems so serious. And then once you get a little bit more life experience, you understand, oh, actually, these are not real problems that you're having right now. In the grand scheme of things, just wait for 10 more years. And I think you'll understand a real problem. But, your mind frame is just in it in that moment. And I just think I was a little bit too high strung about some things, a little bit too in my own head about some things. And I mean, I don't think I was doing it. I was definitely on my path. Like, I knew very early on what I wanted and how I wanted it done, but I was just so hard on myself. And I felt like everything needed to be rushed and right now, and it just didn't.
Right. Well, and at that point in time, you're thinking in terms of perfection too. You want everything to be perfect, and life isn't perfect. Things happen, and you have to roll with the punches and know that you're working through it.
Like, you could have told my 20-year-old self that, but in my head, I'm laughing at you. I am perfect, actually, and I will do it perfect. So, but it's just like such an illusion. But
I think we see that in a lot of overachievers. I mean, at that age, you want to just tackle the world, and we see that as kind of a pattern that seems to happen. So, like you said, don't be so hard on yourself. And thankfully, we're not those 20-year-old selves anymore.
No, hallelujah.
So you've been a pet groomer most of your career. Yeah.
My only career.
Your only career. So how did you come into grooming?
Wild story. I started working when I was 14 years old. This was like before labor laws. So I started working at 14 as soon as I could. And I worked actually at Ulta Beauty. It was my very first job. I was 15 years old, and I had to leave school. Like, I ended up doing charter school the last 2 years of my high school career because I just wanted to work. I had things I wanted to do. And school came very naturally for me. I never had any problems with it. So it was an easy choice for me to make. And so I did that until I went to college. I got a full ride scholarship to ASU. I was pre-med. They do like the career tracks for undergrad there, where they cluster you all into big groups if you're like-minded. So everyone that was on the pre-med path stayed together. And so I did that. I was still working at Ulta. And at that point in my life, I was 19. And I've had anxiety disorder my whole life. And it's sort of been off and on since I was 12. And for whatever reason, probably a culmination of just that age, your hormones transitioning, homesickness, it just really hit me super hard that second year of college. And it started with, okay, I'm just going to focus on school. Like, I'm having these panic attacks. Everything's crazy. I'm going to lose the job and just see what I can do, how long I can make it just focusing on school. But keep in mind, I've been working since I was 15. So when you're working, you acquire bills. It goes hand in hand. So I'm like, but this is what I got to do. I got a full ride. I can't lose it. They made me believe if I didn't go to college, it was like, I'm just going to die. So it was just like pounded into me. And so there was just all this pressure. I wonder what was having panic attacks, right? Anyway, so I quit the job. I was just doing school for a while. I was just still a mess. I started medication for the first time because it was so bad. So then,
can I ask you a quick question? Did you think counseling, or did you just go on medication?
I had been in counseling off and on since I was 12. When I first started having anxiety disorder and panic attacks, my mom didn't obviously want to put me on anything to correct it. She's like, you know, you're going to go to counseling. We're going to do the breathing exercises. I could like teach breathing exercises at this point in my life, but I was 18 at that point, and I was really didn't have time to sit there and be in that mess with a full ride at school. And anyway, long story short, I just ended up dropping out. I just couldn't do it anymore. I was in such a bad place. I was living with my grandmother at the time who lived in Phoenix. She's been an astrologer for 40 years, very unorthodox, like very like hippy dippy. She's like, don't worry about it. You can live here forever. And it was such a great thing. Like that's what I needed at that moment. And so that's what I did. And I spent a few months maybe just kind of recovering and getting right. I remember thinking, okay, well, I'm going to start with a job. And so I'd probably been not working for 6 months. And I remembered, oh, my mom used to be a dog groomer. Maybe I'll just go, you know, work at PetSmart and see what that's about. So I started at PetSmart as a bather. And immediately, I don't think I saw it necessarily, but immediately the people around me saw, oh no, this is like a hand in glove. Like you need to go to academy. And I was there maybe 2 weeks and they shipped me off to academy. I was in such a vulnerable place, you know what I mean? Where like any kind of affirmation, I was just soaking it up. I was like, oh yes, you're right. I'm so good at this. I'm gonna go follow this. And so I did. And it was just crazy because you know when you don't know if you like something and then you get really good at it or it comes naturally to you and then you just love it. You just learn to love it. And it was that sort of thing. And having always been around animals, I mean, that was a very easy thing for me to just move into. And so it just went from there very quickly. I finished academy. I was the top of the class, fell into it. And I was just very fortunate to have people around me that were very supportive because I know that that's not always the case.
Can I ask you a question? So I know that there's an association having experienced anxiety, not in my personal life, but with others, with the animal and the people, the human connection. Did you find that just being around animals was helpful to calm you and get you into a better mental place?
Definitely. So there's like a door, you know, like if I'm looking for that and I need it, I'll find it in them. And for me, they've always been home. Very much in my heart. My whole life, I was raised around dogs and cats. I was always that kid. They just always spoke to me. And yeah, so it's definitely a form of meditation when the dog's on the right wavelength and you're on the right wavelength. It's like an unspoken just serenity that can happen, a flow.
Well, I mean, it's amazing to me where dogs especially seem to have a sixth sense when somebody needs them. Whether it's they recognize the anxiety or a sorrow or whatever, dogs just have that innate ability to hone in on the people that need them the most.
Definitely. And actually, I noticed it's a two-way channel. So I'll deal with a lot of dogs that can't be groomed by other people, but I have no problem doing them. You know what I mean? And at first I was like, oh, I was lucky, but it's not lucky. You learn very quickly that like after you hear that story so many times, it's like, no, I think there's something I'm giving to them too that they needed to get through that process. And it's a very much back and forth with the energy.
So I'm going to fast forward you a little bit so now you own your own grooming business. And what do you find the most rewarding thing about your business? And what is maybe the most challenging thing about your business?
Everything. I mean, I don't really work. It's one of those, like, you know, if you find what you love, you never work a day in your life. It's definitely that way. So everything for me is rewarding, even with the people. Like a lot of groomers get into this business because they're not people. I've built such strong relationships with a lot of my clients that even that part of it is rewarding. It's instant gratification, grooming. And that's also something that I need because it's like quick affirmation on that. So that's very helpful. The challenge is really finding ways to grow because I'm sort of, I think, my own worst enemy in that aspect. I have like control issues. Like I'll be the first person to tell you I have many character flaws, and that is one of them. So in business, what I want to be my retirement plan. So I have to expand, I have to grow. And to do that, I have to be able to trust people to manage things for me. That's probably my biggest challenge. And I'm really trying to get better all the time about it and learn from other people, like huge on continuous education. So there's a huge convention that groomers have every year in Vegas. I go every year. It's like, I look forward to it all year. I just want to continue to learn more and more, everything I can about what I love so much and what I do every day. So that's definitely something that I seek in the education is business models where you can lean on other people and grow.
So outside of the education portion of it, and one of the things that we've heard a lot of as we've been talking to other people, is networking. Do you use networking to help your business?
I would love to. So grooming is kind of an industry that for whatever reason, it's really snarky and I don't know why. I've never been that way, but that's sort of the feedback that I get from other people. And so it's a shame really because I have a lot of people that come in if I get a new employee that has worked in other business or other grooming businesses, they're like, wow, your prices are kind of higher than other places. And then I have to have that conversation with them like, well, look, all the dog grooming businesses in this area's best interest to price what you're valued at. So, I'm ultimately helping them out to see that like, no, you don't have to hang out on the bottom here. You don't have to charge what everyone else is comfortable charging, charge what you're worth. Yeah, those aren't conversations that I get to like have with other groomers because number one, it's a pretty transient business and you pretty much see the same people all the time. However, most places it's very transient. People come and go, unfortunately. I think that's definitely one of the most important part of my businesses personally is I want relationship and I want you guys to have relationship with my employees and because it's important. It's definitely built on trust.
Absolutely. But I think I relate it to a hairdresser. Once you get a bond with someone, you stick with that person because of the experience that you have and the quality of the work that they do. I mean, one of the things, and I have been going to you for probably 4 years now. My dog loves going to the groomer. That's not always the case. It's a very relaxed environment that you have created. And I think that is one of the reasons I would say that you're successful. I have been to other groomers where the dogs are kept in kennels and they're stressed out. They can't wait for me to get there and get them out of there. And I've not experienced that with you at all.
I mean, I have to value my own energy as well and my employees' energy. You know what I mean? So like, I don't want that. I mean, it's stressful for me when dogs are barking and going crazy and I don't want to spend 8 hours in that. So and I'm sure they don't either. So it's just about respecting each other's energy. And a lot of other groomers, I mean, I've worked in some not so favorable places and they don't respect the dog's energy. They just are there to get in and get out, do their job, make a buck. And I don't think that helps long term. Like that maybe that's why there's so much in and out and so much turnover with these people is because they haven't understood that that's not in your best interest in the long run.
So what made you decide to start your own company, Jordyn?
Started when I was, 18. I ended up being a military spouse for a number of years. I couldn't start my own business. I worked at PetSmart for 2 years and then I realized very quickly I'm not a corporate gal. I'm not super manageable. I had to go more private and I did that. And then, like I said, being a military spouse, I had to bounce around a lot. I was only in a spot for a year or two at a time. And I groomed in a lot of different private places on the western half of the country. And I noticed like everywhere I went, I would become super tight with the owner. I think that was my only way to get through is like, we're never going to make it together unless we are friends because I'm not always meant to just do my own thing. You know what I mean? And that was the only way I could do that. Luckily, I was in a spot where I didn't need it financially. Like my husband, I had a financial backer to take care of things if I wanted a job or didn't want a job. And so that made it easy for me to get in with people that I knew what they were doing and were super successful and super good at it and had the right path for me to follow behind. And so I guess that's a fortunate thing about having to work for many different people and places. I got to see pretty much any way you can dog groom, I've seen how to do it. So I got to kind of cherry pick things. I like this, I don't like this. This works for me, this doesn't work for me. And then I ended up, unfortunately, me and the military guy did not work out. So I got a divorce from him. That put me back a little bit. And I, financially was having to work. And so I just got by where I could in private places. The business that I first started at here was a private mom and pop place like 10 years ago almost. And I stayed there for 7 years. I worked with her, which is like, I was so grateful to get out for once. You know what I mean? Because I didn't have the threat looming over me. I was like, oh, well, this is temporary. Everything's temporary because I'm going to have to move. This relationship is so meaningful to these people, to my clients, to the people that own these dogs. It's so meaningful. And I really valued that. It's more of that instant gratification. And I got something out of that too. You guys appreciate that you can trust me. And that makes my heart so happy. That's instant fulfillment for me. So it was just so cool to get to really focus on meaningful long-term relationships with my clients.
So I'm going to switch gears with you a little bit, and I'm so happy that you do have a successful business now. I mean, we do feel your energy, as you said, and the dogs do too. You have children, and I guess both biological and stepchildren. How do you juggle the demands at home with your career and your business?
So I have now a super strong partner. My husband is 100% on board to show up regardless of what the task is. That was another thing I was getting to when I finally did get to open my own business. It's only because I finally had someone that was, okay, we're doing this. I'm behind you 100% and it's your show. And he is luckily super handy. Like anything I need built, anything I need done, he can do it. He's like so handy. So that entire shop got built out by him because I don't even know how to use a drill. It's not going to happen. And and likewise with our family life. So if I need him, he's there 100%. He'll drop whatever he's doing to be there. And luckily being a business owner, and even before I owned my own business, having such strong relationships with my bosses, my kids were just along for the ride for the most part. So if they had to come with me, they came with me. I've groomed with a baby and a baby Bjorn on my back.
It sounds like your experience has been built on strong friendships and strong connections. And I think that is so important for people. I think sometimes we take our connections for granted, but between your spouse and your friends and your friendships and you knowing and recognizing that that's what you need in your life for your life to be the way you want it to be and be in a good place.
Yeah.
So I commend you for understanding that about yourself. You know, a lot of people don't get there.
I'm very fortunate that happened to work out the way that it did. I mean, I'm definitely someone that's always looking for a way to do better, be better. I'm not in my own shell. You know what I mean? I'm pretty extroverted, but I really feel for people that are lost in the sauce kind of on not getting that rewarding aspect and just doing a job to make money. I can't even imagine going back to that.
Well, I think, I mean, you've played to your strengths. I think that's one of the things that makes people successful, right? They find what they're good at and they play to that to be successful. There's nothing more frustrating than just spinning your wheels and just feeling like you're a cog in the wheel and not being able to move forward. And I think that typically happens when people don't understand their strengths enough or they're confident enough to go out and make that happen.
And one of the things we've talked about, again, and I know our listeners would, agree with me on this, is sometimes you find your strength out of your weaknesses. And it sounds like looking back kind of at your past and how your path led you to this career, you took some of your weaknesses and made them into some of your strengths and recognizing the parts that were working for you.
Yeah. If you told 20-year-old me this, I would have gone in one ear and out the other. But it really is everything you come to in life, every hard point you come to in life is either a gift or a lesson. And it was super hard for me to see at that time. But now I have the headspace and the perspective to sit back and approach things differently as either a gift or a lesson. And that has changed a lot of things for me.
So, Jordyn, what do you think has been your biggest life lesson, and what kind of additional insight would you want to share with our listeners?
Biggest life lesson, honestly, calm down and don't take things so seriously. Don't have a panic attack at the drop of a hat. Don't think the world is over even something that may seem like a complete crisis at the time, because things change so quickly. I know, like back when I was younger, it felt like everything was forever and I wanted to speed up time constantly and get there now. And my mom used to call me Veruca Salt. She'd be like, I want it all and I want it now. That's how I was. Anymore, things can seem hard one day, and literally at the drop of the hat the next day, your life can do a complete 180. And so don't take everything so seriously, and ride every wave for what it is. Take it as a gift or a lesson, and roll with it. Be appreciative, or figure out what the universe is trying to tell you, because the universe, I believe, gives you what you need when you need it. You may not see it for it, like maybe not the most opportune time, but for whatever reason, that's the lesson you needed in that moment. And to not take it for granted, to just lean into it.
Okay, well, that was great. Fantastic. So we thank you and we know you're a really busy person, and finding this little niche of time for us was really appreciated. So thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to getting this out to our listeners.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye, Jordyn.
Bye-bye.
To our listeners, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Empowered Life Lessons of Everyday Women. We would really appreciate if you could leave us a rating or a review. If you have any challenges or questions you are facing, we want to hear from you, as we value your input and suggestions. And if you have a compelling story or life lesson you would like to share, please connect with us at empoweredlifelessons@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, other social media platforms, or visit us at empoweredlifelessons.com. In our next episode, meet Nicole D. Nicole got a job after college, but it wasn't until she found her passion as a coach that her career really got started.